Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 9 preview, and I came into this week feeling like I had my trades basically sorted. I thought I'm going to be using 2. One was an obvious trade, but then the second one, I was sure I was going to do it, but I wasn't sure who I was going to free up the cash. I've now just I've capitulated. I don't know what I'm doing now this week. So let us get into what originally the plan was. So if we go down, Gutho to Tedesco was the play for me. I thought it makes sense. I thought, you know what? Cutting ties with Gutho. He's going to have some good scores. I still see people saying to hold Gutho. Sure, I mean, he's averaging 84 still, even with like three or four like poor scores in a row. So he's gone well, but I would just much rather have like a Tedesco, right? So that was going to be the one obvious trade. But obviously I can't do that in one trade. I've only got 10k in the bank. Tedesco, I think he's like 850, 860. So I need to free up cash. That's where it leaves Jaden Campbell sitting at 700k at 5'8", and I could pretty much go Campbell to basically anybody. As a bit of a punt, bit of a pod play on a 5'8", and it would free up, most players would free up a lot of cash. I think the only guy like Dylan Brown, you'd still free up cash, but it wouldn't be enough. I think he's pretty much the only guy that I couldn't go to. There's probably a couple other guys as well, but most downgrades, I'd be able to have the cash to go up to Tedesco. However, the more I look at it, right, fucking Tedesco and the Roosters. So, granted, the Roosters do have a great matchup this week. They play the second game on Friday night at Suncorp. Obviously, Magic Round. Playing the second game is preferable rather than playing like later in the game, just with the field being ripped up a little bit. So he plays the second game. They take on the Dolphins, who the Dolphins, you don't really know what you're going to get. They could turn up. They might not. But even if the Dolphins do turn up, I do think there's points in this game, and they're just a team that misses tackles. Like, Tedesco's going to get his tackle bus against the Dolphins, right? They're just a team that leaks those sorts of stats. But if we go to Tedesco and the Roosters in general, right, so it's 856k. He's still got an 81 break even. Now, yeah, he's every chance to hit it. He's every chance to ton up again against the Dolphins, so he could make more cash, but he's not. This week, he's not going to get, absolutely unreachable. If you could afford him this week, next week, you would, he's not going to blow up, 50 to 100k, right? If he gets, 150... he'll make a decent amount, but I'm hoping he doesn't. But that's fine. But then if we look forward, they gotta fucking buy. They gotta buy next week, and then they take on the Doggies in round 11, and then it's round 12. Which obviously, if he's not in Origin, then he's an obvious pickup because the Roosters' cover over the bye schedule is sensational, or the Origin period. Now, the Edwards-Tedesco debate, I think Edwards is a certainty for Origin. But Edwards, he's had his fair share of injuries. And if Edwards does go down in the next couple of weeks, is Tedesco the next man up? They're not picking Latrell. I wouldn't think. They're not going to pick Latrell at fullback. Ryan Papenhuyzen, maybe, but I just... even though Pappy's been in good form, he's looking fit, I just couldn't see them picking a Papenhuyzen over Tedesco in Origin. I just couldn't see it. And then the only other guy, Turbo, maybe. If Turbo plays the next few games and he looks fit, they could go with a turbo. Obviously, this is under the guise that Dylan Edwards picks up an injury, right? If Edwards is fit, I think 100% Edwards is the fullback for New South Wales. I think even like Laurie Daly he's saying he's obviously coming. He freaked people out originally because he made a comment that he's picking this team based on form, right? And obviously Edwards and the Panthers haven't been in the best form, but like, it's not like the Roosters have been killing it this year either. And I think Edwards has been pretty good for Penrith when he's played. So, I don't know. People were getting a little bit worried by that because Tedesco, you probably say, has been in better form overall. He's played more games. But then I think he came out later and he did comments about the Panthers. And it was just a comment about, like, he's not going to, like drop all these Panthers guys because the team isn't performing that well. It was basically along those lines. So I think Edwards is certain, but if he does pick up a niggle, if he does pick up a knock, Tedesco, Tedesco's he's likely to come in. So it's like, is it worth getting Tedesco this week? It is a good matchup. I would love to have Tedesco for this week, but then he's got to bye next week, and then they take on the Dogs the week after, who I mean, obviously they got stood up by the Bronx, but you would expect a bounce back in the next couple of weeks for the Doggies playing at home. So I gotta be honest, I'm starting to be like, maybe you just wait for Tedesco. You just wait for round 12. That's now my thinking. The other guy, obviously, is Scotty Drinkwater, who I also don't... I don't know what to... I don't really want Drinkwater this week either, right? He obviously is more likely to jump up in price. It's not an easy matchup, but I mean, the Warriors are not great away from home, or at least like this year, especially at home. They barely leak points. Like the weather has been very beneficial, bit windy, bit wet when they played there. Away from home though, they haven't been as good. Let's be real. Suncorp Stadium against the Cowboys could put some points on, but they have been good. The Warriors have been good. And if you look at Drinkwater's scores, they've been rock solid. 72, 65, 52, 76, 74, 78. You wouldn't be disappointed. You wouldn't be disappointed with any of those scores, really. Even the 52, that's the lowest score he's got. Like, you take it. But then a big 130... Big 130 against the fucking dreadful Titans at home. It really sort of... It's an outlier. He does have those big scores in him, but I just think against the Warriors, then Penrith, even Manly... granted, they play a lot of games, I mean, in Queensland. Suncorp this week and then 3 at home. Well, there's more coming up. They got an insane little run coming up, but they're not the 3 best matchups, that's for sure. And then he also doesn't play round 12. I'm sort of like, I don't think I need Drinkwater. I feel like Drinkwater's a pickup in round 13. Because then they play 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Like, for the rest of the schedule, it's beautiful. I think you can hold off. Like, obviously coming off a big score, a low break even, there's always the fear of like getting very expensive, but they're already expensive. Like, he has to... That's the thing. He could have a big week this week and he might be over 800,000, but he has to keep up like those 80 plus to 100 scores to maintain that price. So, is he going to? He could. He definitely could. The Cowboys are in much better form than they were at the start of the year. He's goal kicking, which is great. But I don't know what I'm doing now. The biggest issue with all of this, though, is Clint Gutherson, who is leaking cash like an absolute fucking sieve. He's lost 81k last week. He's now got another 130 break even. It is a good matchup, sort of. I mean, like the stats haven't been great. Like the Tigers have like surprisingly been pretty good defensively, and against fullbacks, like their Supercoach scoring hasn't been shocking. Right, so that there is like this slight temptation to hold Gutho, but the big problem, if you hold Gutho, right, is if he has another, like he could have like a decent game, and if he scores like 60, he's gonna lose so much money still. Like he'll lose so much money that going up to another gun fullback it'll be difficult, especially because we've got Kalen Ponga, who is also getting really cheap. So if you got two guys, if Gutho loses a bunch more cash and then Ponga doesn't turn it around very quickly, then getting to a couple of those guys, Drinkwater or Tedesco, would be very, very difficult. Papenhuyzen's fine. He'll stay in the team for the foreseeable future. I don't see us trading him out for the season unless something happens. But then the other two, it's like, Gutho's draw, he doesn't play round 12 either. I don't think, right? Yeah, no, he doesn't. The rest of it's not bad. But even the draw, like they play, I guess, New Zealand traveling again, it's not the worst matchup. And then Broncos at Suncorp, not great. Newcastle, they play 13, 14, 15, miss 16, 17, 18, 19. I guess the point about this is that I still prefer... I still have Gutho behind like a lot of fullbacks. I would have Tedesco, I would have Drinkwater ahead of Gutho still with the goal kicking, Papenhuyzen ahead. I mean, if Turbo was fit, I would have him ahead. Ponga, even though Ponga's been trash, I still have Ponga ahead of Gutho as well. And maybe it does bite me in the ass. Maybe Gutho does get back on a roll and he could finish the season averaging great. And it's like, if you just held him, then you're doing fantastic. But I just, that's the issue, right? Now, my thinking is that, like, personally, I would like to have, in an ideal world, probably Papenhuyzen will stay, and then Tedesco and Drinkwater over the Origin period. Obviously, that's Ponga playing fullback for Queensland. And again, I feel like he will. So if, again, worst case scenario, if we hold Gutho, loses a bunch of cash, gets way down, like, he'll lose a lot, and then Kalen Ponga doesn't get a couple of tons in the next couple of weeks to make some bulk cash, then if we have to trade Ponga to like a Tedesco, could cost like 300k, 250 to 300. If we want to get like Gutho to Drinkwater, that could be like 200k. So there's a risk of like not being able to afford it. So that's the biggest dilemma. Obviously, like if Ponga doesn't get picked for Origin, I mean that makes things a lot easier because we just fucking play him. But like he will, especially because fucking Reece Walsh is out injured. If Walsh was playing, there's every chance Walsh maybe did get picked ahead of Ponga. But I mean, personally, I would still have Ponga ahead of Walsh just in the Origin format. I think a bigger body. I know people rag on Ponga, but a bigger body. I do think he's just more suited for Origin than Walsh at the moment as well. So I think Ponga will have to probably go. Well, he doesn't have to. You don't have to necessarily get everybody who's playing Origin out. And if he gets too cheap and you can't afford it, then fucking, it is what it is. But the thinking now is maybe you just go Gutherson. You put Gutho, I think straight up, we'll just do this for now. Because obviously we got three fullbacks, we got the flex position. We can trade Gutherson to anybody. We can trade him to anybody. And I'm thinking you just get in another gun center winger, right? The gun center wingers aren't that expensive. Like the best ones are a tick over 700, but they're not over 800 like Tedesco. So we wouldn't have to free up that much cash to go Gutho to one of the center wingers. And then obviously in a couple of weeks, like this would sacrifice getting in Tedesco this week, because again I'm putting the line through getting Drinkwater now. I think getting Drinkwater after the first major buy, I'm all aboard, but I just think it's not chasing last week's points because the Cowboys are looking better and he is goal kicking and it is a good time to pick him up. But I think I'm happy enough to just hold off until after that first buy. I don't think we need to get Drinkwater in this week. Tedesco, same thing. I was all aboard getting him in, but looking at the draw, it's like, well, fuck, like, is it really worth it? In the off chance Edwards does get injured and Tedesco then plays Origin, you'd have to trade him out because, like, you would get literally this game. By next week, the Doggies, which could be good, could be bad. The Dogs obviously have notably been very good defensively apart from the Broncos. But then the Roosters' bye schedule or Origin schedule for Origin players is terrible. Like, it's really good for guys not playing Origin, but if they're in Origin like Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, then you have to get rid of them. So if I trade him in and then he's somehow in the team, then we're in all sorts and we just have to trade him out. So I actually think we're not going to go him. So obviously getting in another gun centre winger is probably the play. You could go another gun prop. I mean, you could go anybody. You could go like a Tarpany, although I think he's pretty expensive. You go Adam Fennell-Blake. I do think a centre winger though, because then we have the opportunity to, you know, when we want to pick up Tedesco in round 12, or even Drinkwater in round 13, or whatever it is, we can then swing, or we can trade out one of our centre wingers who have peaked. I mean, Purdue's looking like a season keeper, but if it makes more sense, like if he's peaked and, I don't know, maybe the scores are starting to dwindle, you know, you could trade him off to a gun. Hopefully Jenkins can make a bit more cash. Like, it would be a little tricky to go Jenkins up to a gun fullback, but it could be done. It definitely can be done. And then also Rob Toya, similar. I mean, he does have a great schedule as well over Origin, so maybe, I don't know. It's interesting, but it does leave the options a lot more open, rather than if we take the punt and hold Gutherson and he loses a bunch more cash, it's going to make things mighty difficult. The other big factor here is the Jaden Campbell situation. We can free up a lot of money. That is the other silver lining in this situation. We can free up a lot of cash trading Jaden Campbell. I'm not going to lie, there is a part of me that's like, I would have liked to have held him just because there's no 5/8 I really want, but I think with wanting to get in probably a couple of those gun fullbacks, it just makes sense to trade Campbell and free up money. I just think it's probably the right idea. Looking at the other positions, I mean, the halfbacks are fine. Do we trade Cleary out over Origin? Maybe not. I probably think we don't. Like, I've gone pretty hard with the trades. I feel like trading Cleary, the only guy I would be looking to trade in is like a Jerome Hughes, right? You trade in Jerome Hughes over Origin and then you look to get Cleary back in. But personally, I think I'm probably just going to hold these two over that period. And if Hines isn't playing and we don't have a halfback one of those bye weeks, it's fine. And if Cleary doesn't back up or whatever, it is what it is. I think we do have to start saving some trades, like going from keeper to keeper. It's fine, and obviously you have the trades to do it, but you do have to be a little wary. The second row is fine. Obviously, there's a couple of issues. I mean, Dylan Egan and Lockie Hubner, both they're both on the chopping block. I think Dylan Egan, I mean, he's got the starting spot back this week. Like, it's a good watch week for Egan. Like, he's every chance to lose a bit of cash, but, you know, if he gets down to like a bit over 400k, it is what it is. But I think he's a guy, like, I feel like, depending on the minute, like, this will be it'll be a very good week to watch what happens. Like, it was a blowout score last week. I think he did come off with a niggle. I don't know. There was a bit of talk about a hand injury. I don't know exactly, but the fact he's got the starting spot now instead of the silly bugger games, like, I still think he could be like a 500k guy at some point. So I don't think he's a urgent sell. I also think Hubner as well. He's like, again, he's every chance to lose money this week. I feel like he's going to start. Like, I know he's on the bench, but I feel like there'll be a late switch and he'll start at lock. Like, he was so good for them in the middle of the field. I'd be surprised if Bennett doesn't get him to start the game. But again, I feel like because he's had a couple of low scores with the head knocks, he's only 370k. Like, again, I feel like he's definitely like a 450k guy. Like, at his price, like he might lose a bit of cash, but he'll start accruing again. So again, it's not urgent. And then the front row's fine. Again, it's I talked about it, but there is a lot of Origin players in our forward pack, so we have to be. It's going to be interesting to see what we do. I know I just talked about holding Cleary, and that's the thing. Like, you're not going to be able to hold every Origin, but you also don't want to trade every Origin player. So it'll be interesting to see who we trade. Because, I mean, Payne Haas, Tino, they're locks for Origin. Terrell May, I think he has to be there, right? So they're your three big gun front rowers. 800, and I mean, Tino's probably going to get to like 700. That's a lot of money. And then your back row, Horsburgh, I think he's locked in for Origin. I'd be surprised if Queensland don't have him on the bench as a bit of impact. And then Olakau'atu, I don't know. This one's probably the most up in the air. I really hope he doesn't get picked for Origin, but I mean, he hasn't done really much when he's had the opportunity, but they also haven't used him very well. It's just a matter of if they're going to pick back rowers on the bench. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's always a weird one, right? Because you're trying to pick the best forward pack you can, but in regular NRL teams, right, your back row is typically, in most teams, they play 80 minutes. Both sides play 80 minutes on the edge, right? And your bench is usually made up of like one either utility dummy half or maybe utility back, depending. And then it's typically three middle forwards and maybe a guy that can play a bit of edge, bit of middle, bit of cent, like a bit more of a utility. But in Origin, like New South Wales especially, they've gone with, like, in previous years, like an Olakau'atu and a Hudson Young on the bench, like two genuine back row options. And it's like, how do they get into the game? So I feel like Crichton will be one back rower. On form, I think there's many better back rowers than Liam Martin, but I mean, Martin's done the job before. They probably pick him on the other edge. So yeah, I hope he doesn't get picked. It'll just save us a bit of a headache. But yeah, that's one to weigh up, obviously, during Origins. So yeah, that's fine for now. And obviously the dummy halves are fine. Like, again, I think either during Origin or just after Origin, I think trading one of these guys to Harry Grant for the run home is probably just the go. Maybe a Connor Watson, but yeah, that's the only trade we'll make in the dummy half. So it's looking okay. It's looking okay. The 5/8 though. So unfortunately, Latu Fainu is still not back. It would have been really nice to know if Fainu was back this week and if they were going to pick him or if they were just going to stick with Galvin. Like, there is... So... there's a couple of really fucking interesting options that would free up a lot of money. So obviously the Dragons have... They're about to blood... King Tonga, who is bottom dollar cheapie 5/8. This will free up 500k. Now, I I pretty much never, I never go like for an early cheapie. I just never do it. Even if they're like pretty locked in, I'm just like, nah, I'll wait just in case something happens, just so I'm not holding the bag at the end, right? Like I usually never do it, but I'm not gonna, there's a part of me that's like, there's a part of me that is somewhat tempted. It's just annoying because it's 5'8", because you've, like, I don't mind the 5'8" spot is a bit of a wasteland as is, right? It's not the best. So the fact, like, worst case scenario, if he does get dropped after a couple of weeks and he becomes enough, like, it is what it is. Like, is that the worst thing in the world? The very rare round, our starting 5'8", would be on a bye. We just don't play with a 5'8". Is that the worst thing in the world? It's not ideal, but it's. But then the best case scenario is that he looks pretty good, and then we're able to get on early. Because the thing is, you might be like, hold Campbell. Oh, you know what? We don't actually. This was the original thinking of this, right? Because I was going to go Gutho to a Tedesco in my original plans, I was like, I have to trade Campbell like this week, basically. If I hold Campbell another week, like, I need the money this week, basically. And the other point is that if I hold Campbell another week or two, then it's like, fuck, I might as well just hold him till he's back at that point, because he'd probably be due back in like a week or two. So... But now the fact that I don't need to free up that much money. It probably does make more sense to just wait. Yeah. Because we got oh, dude, I'm coming into this week, I was like, this is going to be such an easy week of trades. It's turned out not to be. You know what? I'm going with my gut here. I'm going with my, obviously not my initial thoughts, but looking into it closer, I'm not going to pick up Tedesco or Drinkwater for Gutho. It might be a mistake. It might not. I do think, however, I am going to trade Gutho. Can I afford one of these guys straight off rip? Oh, yeah, it's in the flex. That's right. I was like, what the hell is all these front rowers? I guess we can see who we can actually afford. We got 730. Okay. Kale Eero. KL. He changed his name to KL. We can actually... Oh, dude. This is... This is big. This is actually pretty big. We can afford to go Gutho without having to trade Campbell, right? We don't have to trade Campbell, so I honestly don't think I'm going to now, because Ponga could be he could be a sensational downgrade. I don't mind. Like, the thing is, we could end up holding Campbell till he's back, because we don't necessarily need the money yet as is. We could do with the money if we wanted to make another big upgrade, but we don't need to yet. So let's say Campbell does come back in like round, I think let's just have a quick quiz. The Titans, I think they don't play round 12. I think they are back round 13 though. Yeah, they do come back round 13 against the Storm, and then the Bronx, then man, it's not a great time to come back for Campbell, but I mean, the Storm after Origin, it shouldn't be the easiest game. It'll be like better than typical Storm. Broncos are some corp you don't love, but they can leak points. He wasn't playing 12 anyway. He's missing Newcastle, Canberra for sure. and then he's missing the Dogs, which I don't mind too much anyway. So, the thought about this was that, okay, if we do end up holding Campbell, if no one else really pops up and I'm like, I need to get him in, if that Ponga does look good the next couple of weeks, we could trade Metcalf. Like, Metcalf, I've been pretty... I think Metcalf's been unlucky not to have a couple of big scores. It's killed me a little bit the last couple of weeks. He could have had like 2 tons back-to-back. Genuinely, he really could have. And I'm open to holding him, but if we can hold Campbell and then downgrade Metcalf to Tongia, that still frees up 300k. So, as we look, they cover around 12. I mean, they got a pretty good draw coming up, and the Cowboys have been better, but they're not fucking world beaters still. Cowboys, Dragons, Dolphins, Canberra. I sort of want to hold him. I still want to hold him, dude. So, I don't know. It sort of leaves our options open now. The fact we can afford to go to any of the gun center wingers straight off rip. So, that's exciting. And then we still have the Campbell / Metcalf downgrade to free up a bunch of cash. So... And we'll need it. We will need the cash. We do need the cash because we are going to want to flick, let's just say, Ero up to center wing and then trade in Tedesco in round 12. Right? That's the initial plan. So if we look, who do we want? Who do we want? So I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Ero he's very tempting. He's very tempting. He was absolutely killing it. I mean, he does have an 86 break even, but he was on fire, right? He's been killing it. Like 61 points in 40 minutes against the Dogs when he got injured as well. Like, oh boy. Parramatta this week. It's a good matchup to come back to. Manly, Melbourne, Roosters in Origin. Roosters will be missing a few, obviously. Crichton, Watson, you would expect. They missed the backup, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then they miss the other major bye. But the Sharks do have a pretty good schedule. I do love the Ero play because, I mean... the fact he's coming off a Hemi, though, it does freak me out. It does. Like... And it was, like, apparently a tricky one. I mean, Herbie is obviously just the safe option. Surprisingly, he's still only 10% owned. It's probably, like, higher percent in, like, the top percentages of teams. But Herbie, 60 break even. Roosters this week... it's not a bad matchup. I mean, he's matchup proof. Herbie's matchup proof. He can bust tackles with the best of them. Parramatta Warriors. He plays 12, misses 13, pretty much like the Sharkies. 14, 15, 16, 17, misses 18, but plays 19 instead. So it's very similar to the Sharks. Actually, I think it's the exact same. Is it? I think it is. I think it's the exact same as the Sharkies little draw. Is there anybody else? Who else could we go in the flex? Tom Trbojevic, obviously on the bye. Jacob Preston. Who else? Who else have we got? I mean, Fenell Blake. He's starting to lose a bit of cash. What he scored? 85. He just keeps getting fucking little attacking stats. I mean, so what is Horsburgh? I mean, Horsburgh could be the ultimate trade to like Fenell Blake in like round 12, I guess. If Horsburgh does play Origin. So I don't think we don't need to do it yet, but obviously if Fenell Blake scores a couple of tries, gets up to like high 700s, it could be fucking annoying, but we'll see what happens. Is anyone else? I mean, Dylan Lucas. I mean, I do like Dylan Lucas. Do you just go him? Like, I know the point of like not going him the first, like it's sort of the 2 weeks, like the first 2 weeks after a hamstring injury is the most like prominent time to re-injure. So it's like, if you didn't go in the first week, do you risk going the second week? But he's just so good. Like, he's really, really good. He scored 60 odd with pretty much all base. I think he had one little attacking, like, line break assist, but he's very, very good. They've actually, I mean, the Knights do have a great run. Like, South depleted, Gold Coast, Para, and then Penrith in the bye, missing, like, I mean, Penrith have been shit already. And they play 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, just miss 18. Oh, fuck, Lucas is so good. He's got a 50 break even. I mean, I think for me, yeah, there's no one really else. I mean, there's obviously other, like, decent pickups. I mean, you go fucking Potter, Bradman, Best. He's been pretty good, but you would just go Lucas if you're going to do it. Definitely not going Dearden. I'm not going Dearden. I am not going Dearden. I will stand by that. He has a couple of games a year, and you've missed. If you went last week, you beauty, but you've missed his one massive game for the year. He might get one to finish the season, and I could be wrong. He could go bang bang, score another ton, and go like 80 odd the next week. But I don't know. I'm not going Dearden, and he's every chance to be like fucking 18th man from Queensland. He could even be the 14. I still think they would go Hunt, and we will talk about Hunt in a second actually as well, because he is another little sneaky option of 5'8", but I think for me it's either going Lucas this week, which is fucking crazy, right? Like, the Knights have been so shit, and I'm going to be loading up on Knights players, like, goddamn, dude. But, I mean, Marju is just rock solid, and then Lucas also rock solid. It's mainly Ponga that's just fucking shitting me, but yeah, I like Lucas. Or we take the punt on KL Ero. I guess Herbie as well. Like, I could just go Herbie. Oh, part of me wants to get in KL. It's just because he's got a high break even. It is, and coming off an injury. I know I'm like thinking about going Lucas, who's coming off an injury, but he looked good. Like, he looked pretty unencumbered. Ero, I mean, they were talking there's a fucking tricky hammy. He's had hammy issues in the past. Is the work rate going to be a little bit down? I wouldn't be shocked. If we get him for a bit cheaper. You know what? As much as I love the idea of going Ero, I'm going to hold off. I think we could get Ero a little bit cheaper. Maybe not. I mean, they'll take on Parramatta, so he could score a couple of tries. He's been bloody sensational to start the year. He was arguably like the best centre in the game. The first 4 weeks, he was great. But I guess, you know what, he definitely was. But I will say, 65 against Penrith. That was when we thought Penrith were going to be good again this year. Cowboys were fucking dreadful to start the year. 111, that's great. South missing so many players. Also, like, I know they'd got a couple of wins, but like, I mean, come on. I think, did they win that game? I know the Sharks lost a fucking unlosable one, but he scored big, but it was against like not the best. Parramatta is a good matchup, obviously. Suncorp, but then Manly, Melbourne. I think you can wait. I think for me, it's either going Herbie or Lucas. I don't know. They're both likely to make money. They both got like a 50 break even. Herbie's got a 60. Lucas has a 50, I think it was. Yeah, 47. South bloody missing players deluxe. I think he'll be running up against... So it's fucking... Who's in the halves? Sullivan and Whiten, but I think Whiten's now out injured as well. So it could be fucking Schuster that comes in. You know what? I think I'm going to go Lucas for now. This also frees up a little bit of cash, which is nice. We might only make one trade. Let's have a look at sit starts and then captains, and then we'll decide. What we're going to do, if we're going to make another trade or not. So let's have a quick squiz. So hookers, I'm obviously playing Sandon over Mamazoulis. The front row picks themselves: Payne Haas, Tino, Terrell May, Katoa, Olukwatu on the bye. So I think, we play Horsburgh and Nicholson. I mean, I'm comfortable Horsburgh. Like, at worst, he's going to get like 55. Let's be real. Nicholson, he could get a 40, but hopefully he jags some attack again. It's against the... who do they play? Oh, they played Melbourne last game. It is Melbourne last game of the fucking round, so I don't love it if I've got a better option. Dylan Egan, I don't mind taking a punt on him if we need to, because obviously we're missing a couple of big guns this week. Cleary and Hines, obviously. Metcalf will play. I haven't heard anything about like a potential injury. I'm hoping he is good. Like, he's obviously named and stuff, but I hope he does kick goals and stuff. Obviously, he had that like hemi problem after the intercept last game. It might have been cramp. I was worried it was more, so that could also screw up our 5-8 plans. But we'll see what happens. What's his break even? It's probably like 50, right? Yeah, 57. Hopefully, he just sits around that 500k. I'd love him to fucking like. God, he was so close to getting like a couple of tons back to back, man. Like, genuinely so close, but just didn't quite fall for him. And then centre wing, so Kiraj play, Marju play, Purdue gotta play. Billy Smith, I'm still very happy to play Billy Smith. Like, he got dudded like fucking heaps of points last week. He should have got like 50 points last week, and I'm pretty confident playing him most weeks. Papenhausen playing, Luke is playing, and then Ponga playing. So it's mainly out of we play Egan, Toya, or Jenkins as our final reserve with this team. Given if we play Nicholson. Now there's other good. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's other good options. I mean, someone like a Xavier Willison playing in the back row for the Bronx it's pretty juicy, but I just I just can't do it. Even a Bryn Nickera, I gotta be honest, I am a little bit keen on Nickera, but he still has a high break even. So I think you can give it another week even against the Eels. Let's have a look. So 5'8". The other guy I was looking at, Benny Hunt. Benny Hunt. Ben Hunt, and even like we could still just trade Campbell this week. Is there anybody else? Is like a pod play? I mean, Lockie Galvin, you couldn't do it. Yeah, you just couldn't. Like, I love Galvin, but like Fainu obviously still isn't back from injury, so we don't know if Fainu's going to come back into the team. If the Tigers lose a couple of games, like I don't know. There could still be a twist in this tale for sure, so you couldn't do it. Dearden, I'm not going to go. I've already said that. Matty Burden, I would have been somewhat tempted actually with Burden, but obviously he is suspended. It's only a game, but like obviously wouldn't pick him up this week. Blaze Talungi, I don't know. I mean, I was keen, but like fuck, he scored a try and a line break, and he scored 60 points. I know the Penrith were bad, but like, yeah, I don't know. And even like when Cleary goes off to Origin, Talangi, is he going to score that well? Probably not. So it's not ideal. Ezra Mam. So, I mean, Mam is also actually like somewhat interesting, right? He's only 500k. I'm expecting when he's back, which will be next week. Does he come straight back in at 5'8"? He probably does, right? What did he even do last year? I feel like he's always just been that guy that he's similar to the Dearden for me. Dearden probably like slightly better pedigree for Supercoach, but Ezra does have the odd sort of breakout game. But yeah, there's just too many low scores thrown in. Yeah, too many. He started the year badly. He had a pretty good run for a while there. He finished terribly, 26 against the Dogs, and then 10 against the Titans. Missed the rest of the season with injury. Yeah, I don't think so. Who else have we got? Adam Dewey, no thank you. Jack White, no. Benny Hunt. So Ben Hunt, 380k. Also, is there anyone else before we look at Ben Hunt? I mean, Latu Fanu's still there, so yeah, they still haven't talked about when he's back. Yeah, I don't know. And then obviously, Tongia. If he looks good, I mean, I looked at his stats for New South Wales Cup and they're pretty good. They're pretty like Supercoach relevant. It's just the fact if he keeps the job, really. Because I would love to get like a fucking bottom dollar cheapie at 5'8". That would be sensational. I would love that. But yeah, Ben Hunt. Interesting. Very interesting with Ben Hunt. Because, so he's got a 59 break even. So you don't, he could lose more money this week against Penrith. He's like every chance to lose money this week and be like fucking 350, which is fucking wild for Ben Hunt. But what happens next week when Ezra Mam potentially comes straight back into the side? Ezra Mam, you would think, would go to 5'8", and Ben Hunt would go to hooker, right? Like, I think the best team on paper, that is how it would look. Ben Hunt, I think, could do some great work from dummy half. And Ezra at 5'8", I still think can work well. That makes Ben Hunt very interesting. It obviously, it's not the best timing for it because, yeah, he'll play 10 and 11. He was going to, well, it's not that bad because they were going to miss 12 anyway. And if he's the 14 for Queensland, he's not going to play massive minutes. So he'll probably back up in round 13. Plays 14, misses 15. The big question, is he the 14 for Queensland? I still think he probably is, just because he's so good coming on a dummy half, really, and he can obviously cover in the halves very well. There is the slight chance, I think, that Dearden could overtake him for that 14 role, but personally, I just don't think Dearden offers as much as Ben Hunt as the 14. Like, Dearden can come on and obviously play in the halves very well, but do you really want Dearden playing at dummy half? I think Ben Hunt would be much better suited to that. So I still think Ben Hunt plays for Queensland. It's not going to be, again, he's playing off the bench, so it's not like that detrimental. If he's that cheap, like, fuck, it's not the worst. And then if he plays starting 9 for the Bronx, plays big minutes, I guess that's the other, like, yeah, be interesting, like, what the minutes look like for him playing dummy half. Like, you'd think you'd keep him out there for a while, but would Madge do like a bit of a split with him and Corey Pakes? Or like, I don't know. I'm really curious to see, but obviously that would free up a bunch of cash. You don't need to do it this week, so there's no reason for me to do it this week. There's no other 5, like, genuinely, there's just no guys that I'm like, oh, I would love to take a free throw at one of these guys. Like, I'm looking at, who am I looking at? No one, really. Like, genuinely no one. Like, Blaze Talangi, I would rather just take the punt on Metcalf. Like, I would probably rather just play Metcalf over these other guys. Like, sure, Dylan Brown is obviously better, but I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it. So I think I am just going to hold, wait and see what happens with Ben Hunt, wait and see what happens with Latu Fainu, wait and see what happens with Tongia. So I don't love that I've had Campbell sitting 700k just not playing for the last few weeks, but at the same time, it's like I'm not just going to trade him to somebody for the sake of it, especially because he is 5'8". Like, if he was centre wing, obviously he is dual fullback, but I can't really do anything with that because I would still have to get in a 5'8" for him. It's not like I could, it doesn't really affect much. So I think that's what I'm doing. Obviously, the hope, I do hope that Tongia does come out and play really well, because I would love to get in it. Like, being able to free up that much cash with Campbell or Metcalf with Tongia would be great. It would just make it so much easier to go from like a Jenkins back up to a Tedesco, right? Because the process going forward, we'll have to free up cash a lot. We'll have to free up like quite a bit of cash for sure. And then Jenkins probably goes straight back up to Tedesco, right? That's the obvious. If we can't quite afford it, you could just go Purdue. Granted, you could just go Purdue back up to Tedesco. Like, I don't hate it still. Like, I do love Purdue, and he's been killing it. But does he continue the 60-odd average? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see in the next few weeks. And then hopefully Ponga can have a couple of big scores back-to-back, make back some cash, and then hopefully we can go Ponga to Drinkwater pretty easily in like round 13, I guess. But I actually, you know what? We wouldn't actually have to trade a centre wing because Tedesco plays round 12, Drinkwater doesn't. So we're only really going to be trading Ponga probably to Tedesco in around 12. We could just keep Dylan Lucas at flex. We don't need 3 fullbacks around 12. So that's not too bad. We're praying that Ponga actually makes some fucking money. if he's still on like 500k, I'm gonna fucking crash out. But if he gets back over like 600, 650, even if he has a couple of good weeks, like that would be nice. I don't know how confident I am, but that would be ideal. Because what is the likelihood? So he's got an 82 break even this week. He really needs a ton. He really needs a ton against the Rabbits, dude, to get the ball rolling. Because he'll have this week. Hopefully he gets a ton, and he'll make like, I don't know, like 10, 20k, but then the break even will be very low. Titans back it up with a big score. He'll make a good amount of cash and have another low break even. This is obviously ideal, but he could shoot his way back up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Overall, I think we are only making one trade. I know the popular cheapie pickup. I mean, we can look at it here. Yeah, Hugo Savala. I don't like it. I just don't particularly like the Savala play. I also don't. People are trading out. I mean, it's only 1.6%. It's not a whole lot, but surely you've held Ponga. You have to hold him for the next 3 weeks. Like, if he doesn't score points in the next 3 weeks, then yeah, fuck. Like, we're boned. But like, this is the time to hold him. You can't trade him out this week, surely. Robert Darby, I don't really like the pickup either. It's similar, like if I'm not keen on Drinkwater or Dearden, I don't love the Darby play. He does have a negative 46 break even. Granted, he's every chance to make really good cash in the next couple of weeks, but he's shown he doesn't have great base, and you could easily see a 20 and a 30 from him. Obviously, if he scores a couple of more tries the next couple of weeks, yeah, you make a ton. But I don't love the Derby play. Beau Fermor, I do like Fermor, but I think he plays Origin. I'll actually be pretty disappointed if Fermor doesn't get picked for Queensland. I think he deserves it. I think cover in the centres and in the back row. I think he could start or come off the bench. I think he deserves a spot. Hugo Savala, I really don't like either. Like, his stats are fucking putrid. Like, they're really bad. Obviously, you take away these low scores in 10 minutes, but 80 minutes, granted, 2 tough opponents, Broncos 20 points, although they put the Broncos to the cleaners in that one, and then Penrith 21 points, 65 against St. George, but if you look at it, it's not so much the points, it's just the way he scores, it's really bad. So he kicked... Why did he kick a couple of goals? Oh yeah, obviously fucking Sanders Smith got sin binned. So he got 8 points in goals. He got a try contribution, a try. But this is where his points come from. 20 odd tackles, and that's pretty much it. You look at his first 2 weeks, 24 tackles, 23 tackles, a few misses. That's his stats. He doesn't run the ball at all. He ran it a couple more times against the Dragons, but like, that was a game where, you know, everyone was just putting their hand up for the ball at that point. A couple of errors. He has no... I really don't like the pickup. I mean, sure, if you're getting him in as basically just enough, then... honestly, I would rather just get in a fucking dual Touré front no forward nuff. Like, obviously, I've already got one with Simpkin, but if you don't have enough, I would just nuff. If you're going Savala, I would rather just nuff. Like, you never know. I mean, obviously Walker's not back for like a while still, so you'll get Savala for the a couple of the major buys, I think. And you never know. He could at the end of the day, he could jag a couple of attacking stats and get like 60 odd points, right? And you're like, you know, you win at that point. You get some points in the buys, fair enough, but I think there's more chance he gets like 20 points. But we'll see. You know, it is what it is. I don't particularly like it, but again, if you need the money, I guess I'm in a good position with Campbell to be able to free up cash if I want to. A lot of other people probably already got rid of Campbell, or they didn't have Campbell, and there's no one really else to go to free up cash, so I get it in that situation. Drinkwater and Tedesco, the other 2 major trade-ins, I can't fault it. I can't fault it. They're obviously 2 of the prime targets. I just think, for me, I'm going to... I guess it's a bit of an anti-pod move not to go them, especially Tedesco, just with that bye coming up and then the Dogs. I think it makes sense. I'm not looking forward to this game against the Dolphins because he could run amok again, but it is what it is. Like, last week, he wasn't going to score that many points. He fucking like doubled his score in the last like 10 minutes. So he was every chance to get like a 70 point game, which would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been anything too incredible. And Drinkwater was similar. They just both went fucking nuts at the end. So, you know, another day and they don't do that, and they score well, but nothing crazy, and then people aren't like flocking to them. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens this week. It could be a mistake, but it's my initial gut feeling after looking at it closer. That is what I am feeling on that front. So, I'm already on the team list. So, anything else to really... I like the idea of saving a trade. I actually do like that. Again, yeah, there's genuinely no reason to trade out Campbell this week. There's just not. There's really not a reason to. There's no reason to take the punt going to Tonga yet when we don't know, and there's a couple other options you could go if things don't pan out. The second row... I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some potential So, centre wing, what are we looking like for centre wing going forward? I feel pretty good. Obviously, with Lucas now, we do have to spend money to get Lucas into the centre wing and another gun fullback in. But, you know, we should be able to make that work. So, we'll have Lucas, Kiraz, Marju, Garrick, and then like a Billy Smith, Purdue. Like, it'll be pretty solid. There's obviously some other good options, but I think it's like starting to look pretty good. I'm going to shit myself if Lucas gets injured this game. I mean, that's Supercoach, baby. But, yeah, it's good. I mean, it just, you know, it is what it is. But I guess if that ended up happening, we would probably just... we would just wait and then just trade Lucas to fucking Tedesco instead of like a Jenkins. So, yeah, you know, I guess silver linings. He's worth more money anyway, so it is what it is. The second row, like I said, there's a couple of interesting guys. Britton Nickera is one, like, it was around this time. It was similar to last year, but it's similar but also not similar because obviously last year with Nickera, he started the season like an absolute buster. Like, he just wasn't getting, like... But that's the thing. He wasn't getting any attack last year. And then he had that one big score. I think he got like a 120 against the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, look at 57, 25. Missed... he must have got suspended, I'm guessing. 60, 41... A 93 and a 70, so a couple of good scores, obviously tries. 57, 42, 52, 44, 62. Like, for a guy that was, like, mid-600s, like, not great. And then, yeah, 120 against the Dolphins. Damn, my memory's pretty good when it wants to be. Then he had the bye, so then everyone was flocking to get him. Like, a lot of people... There were quite a decent amount that brought him in for the Dolphins game, but then after that 120, it was like, okay, Nickera, he's very cheap. He was like, yeah, I mean... mid 500s, then buy, then 79, 92, 96, buy, 43, 44. It was like, what the fuck's happened? He's gone down again. But then 96, 74, 98, 51, 137. He fucking went crazy. So it's very similar, but again, it's like... It's not, because if we look at this, he scored a lot of tries. So he's gone 66, 61, 58, 42, 87, 47, 49, 39. So the scoring looks a little better, but there's so many more tries in those games. I think he scored 5 tries this year. So it's a weird one. I do think, like, he's not a bad little pod play though. Like, is he going to like turn it on? Because it's not like it's because of the Trindle Hines combo. He's not going well. Like, it was the same last year. The same thing happened last year. He just turned it on midway point. So I don't know. And then 79 minutes. He had the sin bin in this game. Was it really in the last minute of the game? I thought I could have sworn this happened earlier in the game. Is that wrong, or did he actually get sin binned in the last minute? I know he got sin binned. Was it really in the last minute? Oh, no, of course. Fucking, yeah, 79. That makes sense because they fucking played Golden Point. So, yeah, no, he got sin binned earlier, and then, yeah, they played 89 minutes. So, yeah, okay, that matches out. So, you know, 39 points. It's a bit of a unders, which is nice. Yeah, I don't mind the Nickera play, but you don't have to go him this week. You can definitely wait. I mean, it's similar to the. It is like, it's so fucking similar to last year. Coming up against the Dolphins, he went 120. He's coming up against the Eels, who have not been good, but they do have Moses back. They're off a bye. He could go big, but he's got a 90 break even, so I don't know. Any other back row? I mean, Fafita still has to be... I don't know what's going on, dude. There's got to be more to it. There has to be more to the Fafita situation. Like, he must be, like, training poorly or, like, shitting him, like just giving Des the shits, just kicking stones. I don't know what's going on, because I actually think during the game he looks pretty okay. Like, he's no lazier than any other fucking player out there for the Titans. Like, I feel like there's been games where he's put in a pretty good effort. I don't know, but surely he's still on the watch list when he comes back, right? Like, he's 670k. I don't know what's going on, but he has to be in the conversation when he comes back. Anyone else? I mean, Crichton will be in Origin. Hudson Young could be in Origin, and I wouldn't be going him at fucking 850. Preston, I don't know. Couchman back down to earth a bit. Is there anyone else? I mean, Aaron Clark has looked really fucking good since Dylan Walker left, but I don't know. He's been really rock solid, but the 108 obviously helps boost his numbers. I think he's really good, but I don't think I really want to play 600 for him. Pierce Paul has actually been pretty good on the right edge this year. He's averaging mid-60s. There's not... I mean, I do love Nenai, but I feel like he'll play himself into Origin. Like, he was really good last week, and even off the bench, I even think off the bench he was looking pretty good. Like, I thought his energy was definitely up. So I think he'll play Origin, so I'm not going to go him now. And there's not a whole lot else. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. What are the front row looking like? What is Tarpany? Tarpany's really expensive. Yeah, he's 750k because he keeps getting fucking attacking stats. He had that offload for a try this last game. Fanor Blake is at a good price, but he's playing a bit busted. Like, he keeps getting attacking stats as well. Otherwise, he would get pretty cheap because he had that groin issue that he's got heavily strapped. He had like another shoulder niggle on the weekend. So yeah, I feel like he could have been like 600k by now, but he just keeps banging out a fucking try or a line break at points. So yeah, I think Fanor Blake would be a nice pickup. Yeah, it's just a matter of like who we want to get rid of, like, for our Origin guys. But I think that'll wrap it up. Actually, last thing, captaincy, vice captaincy. So you know what? I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'll wrap the video up here. I'll do, because there's no Thursday night game, I'll do another video, a pre-lockout video, put it up on Friday. And I want to have an actual better look at the buy coverage at the moment. Look at the major buys, look at the mini buys, see what we're looking at, and then I'll go through if there's any changes, and then we'll look at vice captains, because I hate thinking about the captaincy. Honestly, I hate it. So I'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment. Hopefully we have a magic weekend, a magic round, as they call it. So yeah, make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.